Hello everyone, this is Sandra at the Whispering Well. So welcome to video 1 of the Tarot Nerd Marseille series which I'm doing. I just wanted to quickly show you before we look at a deck this other book that I got that was recommended to me, which is The Meaning and Philosophy of Numbers, which goes more in depth into numbers. And I managed to get this second hand, and it's actually in really good condition actually for a second hand book. So that's the contents page, and this is the back of the book. Sorry, it's probably not very clear because I'm in front of a window and have a weird setup today, but you might be able to read some of it. So yeah, and this was recommended to me by the lovely Elaine over at Celtic Roots Tarot. She showed me this book, so I was really glad to be able to pick that up. You know, just to see what it says. Well, you know, it goes more in depth, obviously, but I think it will be interesting. And like I said, I picked it up second hand, so that was good. So the deck we're going to look at is the Tarot de Rivesol by Ben Gross. This deck is a limited run of 600 and is available from Yves Renault's website at Tarot Heritage, which I will put a link to down below. So these decks come over from France. He does a lot of reproduction decks, really good quality. And yeah, I'm just really interested in the historical side of it more than anything. The fact that some of these decks are from the 1700s and stuff, and just me with my imagination imagining people from that time using these decks is just so cool. So, and I wanted to get into Marseille anyway, into being able to read it. Because I love the Rider-Waite-Smith, and I'll always love the Rider-Waite-Smith, and it will always be my favourite system. But I think it's nice, you know, to learn another system, and as I don't like the Thoth system and don't gel with it, I thought, well, you know, let's try the Marseille. Prior to getting this deck, I did have the Dodal by Flamboir, the Marshmallow Marseille, because I mean seriously, it's so cute. And the New Choice Tarot by Rosario Salerno, which is such a gorgeous deck. I just couldn't not, even though it was a Marseille deck. So those were the first three, and I'd not really used them very much. I'd used the Rosario one a little bit, but kind of reading it more like an RWS when I know I shouldn't be. So yeah, I want to be able to use them. And I saw this deck, I think it was first on Marsha's channel, and then Mendy had it, and at the Artistry of Tarot, and Marsha at Musings by Marsha, and then I think Justin at Justin Michael channel also has this deck. So it's in a lovely box as Tarot de Rivesol, inspired by the Tarot of Avignon by Jean-Pierre Payen. So this Ben Gross was inspired by the artwork from the Payen Tarot 1713. So that's his inspiration for this deck. We have the same there. This is the back, and I've got number 531 of 600. The box opens this way. I'm used to the magnetic closures being this way, so at first I was like, how do I get into this? But yeah, look, you can see the front of the box, how kind of it's embossed, and it's like this shiny type of embossing on the front, and it's raised, you know, you can feel the lettering. So really, really nice. This is just a like a thank you card that Yves Renaud tends to put in, and this one is the Chausson 1736. It's from that deck, so that's really nice that he does that. This is the 2 cards, one in French, one in English, that tells you this is a limited edition, 600 copies, and this is number 531 of 600, and signed there. These are the backs, really nice backs on there, and the cards are larger than a standard. I mean, just measuring it against the one that Yves Renaud put in, you can see how much larger it is to that one. It's wider and taller, so it's a really nice size actually. I quite like big cards. So, and look at the inside of the box, this lovely kind of felting that feels almost like velvet, and it's this lovely green colour, and that's like that all the way through the box. So really nicely done box. Okay, and the cards, they just feel so nice. And with these, they do have borders, and actually this is one of the only decks where I was like, I really love the borders. Because normally I would say I'd prefer borderless decks, but in this case the borders are lovely, and what they actually do is they change colour. Like when you get into the minors, like here, you start with the very bright reds and then it goes down to a deeper red as you go further through. So, and you'll see this. So this was the deck that started me kind of nerding out, if you like, on Marseille, and buying more decks after this. So let's have a look. Now, what I do know is that there is a type 1 and a type 2 Marseille. Now, I'm not sure exactly of all the different things that make something a type 1 and make something a type 2. I know some of them, so let's see where we go with this one. So that obviously is our Magician, which the Marseille decks always start with the Magician and end with the Fool, because at first I was putting the Fool in front because it still feels weird to me seeing the Magician first. It's like, where's the Fool? Oh yeah. The Fool comes last after the World. So this is our Magician, and just look at the lovely bright colours of this Magician, and the face as well. The expressions on the faces are quite funny too. I mean, look at this. Oh dear. La Papesse, which would be like the High Priestess in RWS, but look at her, the expression on her face. Some of them make me laugh, but I mean, it's the colours, these deep reds, and look at this green here and a little bit here on her sleeve. So, and you can see that the border colour is changing a little bit. So this would be the Empress Imperatrice. So yeah, so she's got her shield there, and this, and I know all of these elements kind of mean something but I'm still learning, guys. Right, now this is one of the pointers. So this deck, I think, is a type 1, because I think the type 1s have a floating 4 that you see here. So I think that's right. I mean, I could be wrong, but I think that is one of the pointers to a type 1. So I think this is a type 1 deck, and I'm telling you, this cardstock is so nice. It's got like a little tiny bit of a sheen to it, but it feels so soft and like silky. Just so nice. So that's our Emperor. This is the Pope, so this is like the Pope, so the Hierophant. Just love the colours in this. You see, very often it is colours that attract me. Now I know there's something here about the Cupid, about if it's blindfolded and the legs are a certain way, it's a type 1, and if it's another way, it's a type 2. So I know there's something about this too. Do you know what? I love this Chariot card because of the blue horses. It's so cool. And again, the scallop design of like the curtain on the Chariot, that is a type 1, and when it's more drapey, sort of like that, more kind of draped, then it's a type 2. And also I think there is something about the badge as well here, which again I'm not completely sure of, but you know, that's what I'm saying, I'm learning, so I know some of them. So what I really need to do is find out exactly all of the differences between the type 1 and type 2 and actually write them down. So I might try and get that ready for the next video, and then we can like look through those as well, the differences between the type 1 and type 2. So this is our Justice figure in the position of 8, of course, being a Marseille deck. She looks really serious, doesn't she? Look at this Hermit. I love this dark blue in this Hermit, and like this lighter blue of the beard. Even his hand is blue. I mean, the colours in this are so nice, and the colours on the borders I love as well. Here is our wheel card. It's just, I could just sit here, you know, looking at all like the little faces and things in these. We have Strength at 11. So we've even got a touch of like the blue going through the lion's mane there. La Pendule is the Hanged Man, and I always love this when the Hanged Man has these legs sort of crossed over, almost in a number 4 shape. I don't dislike it when he's not portrayed like that, but for some reason I just always love when the legs are like that. Look at, always gets me this, the weird kind of hands. It kind of just looks strange to me, that. But I love this as well, that like part of the thing that he's hanging from is like 2 trees. And again, these lovely greens here. Death. And again, the colours are just great on this deck. I'm so glad I was able to get a copy of this, because I thought, oh no, 600, I'll never get a copy. But luckily I like treated myself to it for Christmas. So we've got the heads, people down here. We have Temperance. Just love this type of blue as well. It's just such a well done deck. I mean, you know, Ben Gross did a really good job. Now the Devil, here's another type 1 type 2 situation. When it's a type 1, he has the face in the belly and in the knees, and when it's a type 2 it doesn't. But then there's also what I call like the hairy devil that is in the Besançon decks. And a Besançon deck is one where the Pope and I think it's the High Priestess or the Empress. You see, guys, learning, but I know they are replaced by Juno and Jupiter in the Besançon decks, and I do have a couple of those, so we will be looking at those. But you see how I'm not completely familiar. I know that Jupiter is the Pope or the Hierophant, but I always kind of get stumped with the other one, which is either the Empress or the High Priestess. But still, that's the thing with learning, though. I love the colours. Obviously, this blue devil here, the Tower, it's very cool. We have our star. So we have the bird in the tree here, and I think in a type 2 you don't, or it's not very clear. But like I say, I'm going to get the differences between the type 1 and type 2s written down, and then we can kind of go through. Might be able to do like a side by side of a type 1 and a type 2 to show the differences. That might be good thing to do. This is the moon. We have the dog and the wolf, or two dogs, and we have the crustacean here. We have a face in the moon there, which is also a blue colour. The sun. I love faces in suns and moons, so that really I love. Judgment. And the world. And we have Le Fool, our Fool card, which again, I love this Fool. I love the colours of his outfit, his hat. I even love his beard. And this mischievous cat here. So that's our majors, and then obviously the minors are pips. So these are the discs. So that's the ace. So you see we start out with this quite bright red border, and then we have the 2. You see the differences in like the plants and things as well. And this has Tarot du Rivasol, Ben Gross written in it, as you see in all Marseille decks on the 2 of coins. I should say not discs, coins. 3. This is the 4. There's a shield in the middle. And I think, you know, it's also is the thing to look at the flowers, leaves and plants, because I think some of them point certain ways in different decks, and you know, you can get meaning from that in the way the flowers or plants are growing, or what way they're facing, I think, too. So this is the 6 of coins, and you can see the deeper red colour now, and see the colour changing on the borders. The 7. The 8. And you see, so we've got leaves here, flower in the middle, and we've got blue going into red. We have like a flower here, so I think this all kind of means something, but this is my first kind of attempt with this. So, and you see how deep the red colour has got now on the borders. Now we're at the 9. I think we're at the 9, aren't we? Yes, we're at the 9 of coins. And we have our 10 of coins. And then we have our valet coins, so that would be the page. There's chevalier. This is the knight. coins. Look at his lovely blue horse. The Queen of coins. And the King of coins. That king almost reminds me of like Charles I. Then we have our batons or wands. So this is the ace of batons, and we have this lovely green coloured border for these ones. The two of batons. We have red here, and the middle section is blue. Three of batons. Four of batons. So we have it printed either side here. So instead of one V for 4, we've got 4 ones. 5 of batons. 6 batons. And people, I think, do get confused, and I used to get confused with which were wands and which were swords. But the swords are always curved in the Marseille anyway. So this is the 7, the 8 of wands, batons, the 9 of batons, and the 10 of batons. Then we have our valet of batons, so our page, the chevalier, which is the knight of batons, the queen, her hair, and the king of batons. Then we go into our cups, so we have this lovely blue colouring, and we have this ace with what looks almost like a castle on top. The 2 of coins, I love these here, 2, and the fish. 3 of cups. 4 of cups. 5 of cups. Again, you can see how the borders are changing to a darker blue. 5 of cups, 6 of cups, 7 of cups, 8 of cups, the 9 of cups, and again here we see these light leaves and the flowers too. And the 10 of cups, and we don't see any flowers here. So, you know, again, you start noticing these things when you really start looking into it. So we have the valet of cups, the knight of cups, the queen of cups, and our king of cups. Look at him now, and look how dark the border's got now. And now we have our swords. So we have this yellow border. So we have our ace of swords here, which has leaves coming off here. But this one looks different, this side. And we've got the sleeve here. The 2 of swords. The 3 of swords, and you see how they are, the swords are bowed in this shape. So this is how we tell in a Marseille deck that the swords from the batons. The 4 of swords, we have this flower like growing in the middle. The 5 of swords, the 6 of swords, and again another flower but different, looking different. The 7 of swords, the 8 of swords, the 9 of swords, and quite a dramatic colour difference now on the borders, and the 10 of Swords. Then we have our Valet of Swords, our Knight of Swords, our Queen of Swords with lovely blues and greens. The blues and greens in this deck are so nice. And the King of Swords. So that is the full deck, guys, of the Tarot de Rivasol by Ben Gross, and is available from Eve Renault's website, which I will put the details down below. Okay, so thank you for joining me for this first video, which was a bit kind of well, I'm not sure about this kind of thing, but like I say, I am learning. And next time, in the next video, I will have all the differences between the type 1 and type 2 Marseille listed, and we'll go through a type 1 and a type 2 side by side, so that I can point out the differences to you guys so you can see them. Okay, well, I hope you enjoyed this first Tarot Nerd Marseille series video, and I'll see you all in the next one. Bye.